Believe we are starting. We're starting. Let me adjust my camera. Adjust the camera. And shall I just go to restream.io? Yes, we shall go to restream.io. The greatest website ever for streaming to other platforms. And hopefully today, there should be no connectivity issues with Ethernet. Let us hope Ethernet does not fail us in the way we have been critically failed before. I've been hurt so badly by this internet. Yes, this internet situation really does perturb me. But hopefully today, now that we're back at home, in a safe environment, hopefully, all is well. We're continuing in this vertical setup because I think it's kind of cool, it's novel, it's kind of simple. In a weird way, it kind of gives me more monitor space, but also less monitor space. But it also allows me to have certain areas of my screen that is shared with people and another area that isn't, which is actually quite handy for checking various things on this side monitor. So oddly enough, kind of a UX improvement. I'm kind of surprised, guys. A little bit surprised. And I believe all the audio stuff is working as intended. I gotta say, nothing beats a condenser. Nothing beats a good old-fashioned condenser microphone. Nothing does. It is simply the best. Now, before we get further into this, I am curious about something, because I do recall doing this engine stuff to make it so it's more consistent across platforms, and I'm not sure, I for sure haven't achieved consistency in any really good measurable metric, but it would be cool to try playing around with it. So maybe today we'll fiddle around with the stream stuff. Let me grab my laptop. My beautiful baby of a laptop. The little lamb. And maybe try pushing the code that I already have. Maybe try pushing the code that we have currently. And give it a ye old test over here on a different machine. Yes, goodbye OBS. We're not streaming on you now. Oh, that's cool. The restream resumed here on my laptop. Very nice. Very nice. In fact, I might even keep it open in case I would like to read chat. But no, that's not what we're doing. I want to push my progress onto this computer here so we can see if I'm a genius or if I am the greatest glue sniffer to have ever graced your screen, I suppose. Or breathed air if you want to be even more extreme. I don't know. So many possibilities, guys. So many possibilities. Anything is possible. Anyways, so yeah, we can either do engine stuff today, or we may be working on, I don't know, Messy Mansion, the not titular, but the main game we were working on, the biggest and most extensive project we've ever worked upon. Might be worth to get that game done at some point. Might be important. But hey, curiosity killed the cat, right? And in this case, I am the proverbial cat who is a bit too curious But what can you do? Let me just make sure I have all my changes push. Git add all. 1 second, guys. We're gonna go to the main computer now. I just wanna push some changes. Changes! Committed it, pushed it. And now we can pull it, and now we can see what's actually going on here. Ed Baldwin approves. Basketball Game Studio, nice to see you. Ed Baldwin approves. I'm glad I have won Ed Baldwin's approval, because I'm probably going to lose it once we actually go into this engine project and see how badly we've mucked it up, okay? Because it turns out having consistent frame rate is way more complicated than we think. People who worked in Unity, we take for granted fixed update. We take for granted delta time. You know? I never would have thought it. But we take some things, sometimes we take some things Unity does for granted. But then you sit down and try implementing it yourself and you realize, oh my goodness, I'm kind of a jabroni. I kind of don't know anything. I'm kind of a glue sniffer. And it's a very sad yet sobering moment we all, or at least those of us who've actually done engine stuff, even a little bit, take for granted. But now I'm waking up. So let us go into Cozy Engine, or Cozy. Yep, this is where the engine is. Git status, git pull origin. Yes, and then we go git, I don't know, git branch. Okay, git checkout. What did I call it? Windows compatibility. Windows compatibility. There we go. Now we checked out that branch. Git pull origin. And we're gonna see, I'm gonna be exposed to you guys. It's a very uncomfortable place to be in, but sometimes you have to be exposed in life. And that is what we're doing right now. So we're gonna open up a CLion. And that should be fine because I have 64 gigabytes of RAM. And if that doesn't, and if my computer can't handle it, I need to go return said RAM. Or maybe upgrade and buy a new PC. Who knows? There's so many things we can do. Don't send Ubuntu. Anyways, we're gonna wait to see if CLion is gonna open up for us. I believe she should be. Okay, here we go. Yeah, let's close some stuff here. We're just gonna close my double panels. I'm somewhat, I'm kind of a gamer. I think I'm kind of cool. So a lot of times when I do coding, I like having double panels for double the proficiency. But today we must close all of this stuff, all of this junk, and we're just gonna be pressing play. Oh, my bad. We're gonna press play again. We're gonna compile, load, and then we're gonna see just how much of a ooh, that's not good. Why are we unhappy today? Why are we unhappy? What failed? What? What do you mean? Unsigned. Let's try reloading the CMake project. Oh no. Why are we unhappy? Why are we unhappy today? Did I introduce some changes, hopefully? Hopefully it's just that simple. Let's just open another terminal. Git status. Nope, no changes here. Okay, so this is just a classic case of skill issue. Skill issue. Well, what can we do? What can we do about skill issue in this case? It's clearly angry about this in main CPP, and I'm not sure why. We define this. That should be normal. Uint. Is there a duplicate definition somewhere? Ooh. Somebody else defines uint. Yoko, oh no. So in that case, Alright guys, this might be a case where you just say, you know what, we're just not going to worry about this today. We're just going to switch back to Unity. Okay, no, it works. I just have to get rid of that. So in Windows, I need that. On here, I don't need it for whatever reason. And this is like the little toy engine. Okay, and yep, proceeded to break my ankles. Okay. That kind of worked. That worked largely good enough. But as soon as we start jumping, things go very bad. Okay, very cool. So maybe, just maybe, we can actually address this. If not, actually no, we're not gonna do this now because this is gonna be like some research stuff. I'm gonna have to do this thing because the current mechanism for timing is not good enough. It's not precise enough for the operating, or at least in the operating system agnostic way. So I think I actually have to do per operating system stuff. So like for here, you'd probably want to use USleep, I think, which gives you some higher precision, if I remember correctly. So okay, that's a me in bed at 4 a.m. in the morning kind of situation. That's what that is. That's a me in bed, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. So we're going to work on this dust thing, this dust problem we talked about earlier today in the park, in the stream in the park. So we ran this gameplay. And we saw some cool gameplay. We're going to reorganize my hierarchy a little bit just to be a little bit more cleaner, or at least bigger, so you guys can have more real estate for gameplay. And last time we were here, we were discussing a couple different things. One of the main things is the dust system that we're looking and fixing to refactor at some point, which is cool. Very cool. So I think we discussed how in game we have these zones called dust zones, and now we're going to make them actually do the dirtying instead of having the texture do the dirtying or be pre-dirtied, which simplifies some things. It makes other things a bit more complicated, but for now I think it's going to be pretty simple. The big thing though is that these dust zones have to have some kind of configuration for what kind of shape you want to have to dirty the stuff, or brain blast moment, a little bit of a Jimmy Neutron brain blast moment. We can actually keep this exactly as is, introduce another class whose whole purpose is just to dirty the map on start, and allow ourselves a lot more flexibility in placing these areas down. So we can choose different shapes, like a square shape or a rectangle shape. And I honestly kind of want to keep it like that, so that this dust zones can just be focused on one area of query, watch in one area. But you can compose a bunch of different odd shapes using these primitive dust things. I kind of like that idea a lot. I'm going to be honest with you, I like that idea a lot. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into, and I believe I have things organized in my project in terms of assets, and then we have features, and then we have the chaos dust feature, and we're going to make a new thing called, I don't know, paint splatter, something of that kind of nature. Hey. Okay. So anyways, we're going to have something here called a paint splatter, or dust splatter, or I don't know, a marker, dirt, dust, I don't know, decal, I don't know what kind of, for what we're doing, I'm not sure what terminology would be best to describe this. For now, dust stain. Let's say that, because we're calling this a dust system. Dust stain. And we're gonna be using a standard thing. So we're gonna have a public enum of eStain type, and then some simple ones like circle, and we can have one like box, and then maybe if we want to be fancy, something like, I don't know, a triangle or a hexagon or a custom pattern. That'd be kind of cool actually. But we can start with these simple primitives. I think that's enough to start making a lot of significant complex shapes. A circle and box, and they have to be resizable. And then this is gonna have a eStain type. And this is gonna be the type, so when you place, me as a level designer, when I go into the level and I start placing these stains down as these game object, I can just go in an inspector and select one of these two options, and that's gonna be the thing. It's gonna be the pattern that gets imprinted onto that dirt texture. One other thing we need to do is have layers, because currently we have this issue with how we design levels, which is that there's a big restriction we've imposed on ourselves, and that is that there's only one texture that marks things as dirty. So I'm going to show you in the level. This is going to be fun to look at, or at least very wonky to look at. So what do I mean by there's only one level of dirt? Well, do you notice how this pattern you see right here for the dirt is the same as the one up here and the same up here? Pretty weird, right? But hey, maybe it's a coincidence, right? But if we go over here where there's a more distinctive pattern, you're gonna see the same thing emerge. That same circle that's here is gonna appear down there. So there's no concept of verticality. If you clean a spot on this level down here, it will clean the spot up here as well. And that's really bad and weird and wonky. I don't like that. So, and this is due to the fact that this dirt texture map is all on one texture. One texture, one Y coordinate, right? Or any Y coordinate. So what I'm thinking my solution I'm thinking and I'm proposing to myself, the council, is having like a set of a couple textures for different elevations, and we can mark different areas for that. So if we can go into Miro, which I believe should be working perfectly fine now that we're connected via Ethernet and not reliant on mobile hotspots, we can actually do some illustrations here. Yeah. I almost feel like I'd rather do the illustrations in Krita, but whatever. We're working with this. So right now we only have this one dirt map. Or actually we have this one right here as a great example. And this is the one texture that all elevations have to share. Please work with me. 1 second. I'm trying to find a good example place. Okay, cool. Here's a great example place. And okay. So these two spots share the same thing. But now, so if I clean this area up here, it's going to clean the area down there because they share the same Y. But now that we're going to introduce this multiple textures, like a bunch of texture slots. So there might be like map 1 and then map 2, and they're going to have their own states and whatnot. That's going to provide us the freedom of being like, hey, Down here, we're going to use map 1 to indicate if this area should be dirty. But up here, we're going to be indicating, using map 2 to indicate if it's dirty. And these states are going to be separate. The player can clean up here, and it's not going to clean down there. It should really, it should be pretty simple. And then the question just becomes, okay, how do we determine which texture to use? We can make it a manual process where you have to go through every single individual one and modify the material and maybe make a new material instance to do that. But that would suck. I would not like that at all. That would be very painful for me as a designer, as a good old-fashioned level designer. So what we can do instead is have like invisible planes that partition space on the y-axis. So if let's say you're below a value of let's go here actually. And let's open the inspector so you can actually see some of this stuff that I am discussing. Close tab, hierarchy, inspector. So you see how we have a Y value here? That's not crazy, right? Plenty of people have Y values. So we can do things where hey, in the shader, we go, if the Y value is less than 0, or is it less than, let's say 10, right? If this is 10, if the Y value is less than 10, we're going to be using the first map. Map or texture 1. And then we can go, okay, and if the Y value is greater than 10, but less than 20, we use map 2. And then so on and so forth as we want to have more and more layers or levels to it. I'm kind of considering doing that. And maybe make it more dynamically configurable where we can have a plane that indicates what is where our cutoff points for the different textures, where they exist. And then we can just set it at different elevations manually. So we know as a designer where these things exist. So that's where my mind is as far as tackling this problem. So yeah. So new architecture, new redesign, very cool. And I think this solution is probably going to be the most robust solution for making this work. So this is going to manifest in 2 places. We have this shader pipeline because of course we wrote our own rendering lighting pipeline for this. This is not using any of Unity's stuff. Our own lighting pipeline, baby. So that means we have to update our shader, our major one. I forgot what it's called. It's been a while since I've been in here. Camera pipeline shader, no, that's something else. SDF scroll shader, nope. What are you called? I think it's called Cozy Cabinet or CC Surface shader. Oh my goodness, it's been so long since I've been in this project. I'm so not familiar with this anymore. Or at least I'm kind of getting back to it, but I'm forgetting, dude. I'm forgetting, man. Okay, Cozy. Okay, here are our set of shaders. So you have Cozy Sprite Shader, Cozy Surface Shader. That's probably where we're going to be starting here. And it should contain this, per pixel lighting option. And does it contain the miasma stuff? It doesn't. Okay. We're getting closer though. We're getting closer. It might be called MM. Yeah, like a messy mansion. Yep, unlit shader, and then there's MM lit shader. Yeah, that's our standard shader. Okay, cool. Cool. Let me see if I can find it. Two-sided. In fact, yeah, here, MM standard surf. Beautiful. Okay, here we go. Here's where the stuff exists. Yup, and then it has the settings for the PS1 style, snapping, and all that kind of stuff. That's pretty cool. And where is the miasma stuff happening? All that is happening. Where? PS1 Vertex. Is this not opted into it? Okay, I'm starting to remember though. There's a Messy Mansion CGen C file too. Yeah, MM Utilities, that's what it's called. MM Utilities. Here we go. And this contains all the stuff. So like all the shaders, surface shaders are using this utility to know when to draw the dirt specs here and the not dirt specs, the standard material stuff. So here's where we're going to be defining all of our shader global values. And in fact, you can see them here, dust text, miasma noise, all that kind of stuff. So in this case, we'll be adding probably like 3 dust texts. I might even change the name of these, just, you know, be clear, be clean. And we also have to start specifying things like the cutoff values. So things like, I don't know, level 1 cutoff, and these will be global shader values that we have to set programmatically every time you load a level, but we're not going to worry about that. Let's do document this. Let's indeed document this. So we're going to do some Java docs. Everything. Every Y value below. I don't know how to spell, dude. I know I've had to type this out a few times and I always mess it up. Y below this, we'll use dust text 1. Yeah, we're gonna change these values. Okay, every Y value between between 0 and 1, or I guess 1 and 2 in this case. We're not doing inclusive. Use this map. Honestly, we don't have to even specify English. I don't know why I'm typing full English sentences here. This is just for me. I'm not getting paid for this. We could just use define the conditionals. Every Y value over 3 between. Okay. No, I'm gonna try to keep it a little bit more coherent, because the same reason that I'm the only person who's using this means I'm also the only person who has to figure it out when I do come back to this every so often. So we'll try to be somewhat sensible. Keyword try. We'll try. No guarantees. Hey, what's good, Morgan? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, Morgan. Yeah, we're back where we left off last time. Sadly, it's nice to be back to the main studio instead of like streaming outside. I don't have to worry about internet outages. We have Ethernet cable. That's crazy. And your code, this is beautiful. I know, right? It's crazy. It's like the bloodstains before you enter a boss battle in like Bloodborne. Like, it's the only thing that can let me know what I'm about to enter when I go into this code base. It's kind of crazy, dude. It's kind of crazy. Especially coming back to this, I'm starting to have that weird moment where it's been a while since I touched this code base, so I'm forgetting certain things, like certain key files that are part of the shader rendering pipeline and stuff, and I'm like, okay, let's actually try to cover our butts a little bit. And that's only after 1 month. Like, imagine if I took like 6 months or a year off. I'm kind of scared to go back to Crimson Crown because, buddy, pal, that's going to be insane going back there. It's been like, what, a year, 2 years since I've left that project? Going back to that's going to be crazy. Oh, yeah. Anyways, every value, we use dust text 1. Between cutoff 1 and 2, we'll use this text, and then every value over okay, I think I'm right. Wait. I think I'm a little dumb, dude. I think I'm a little dumb. Below 1 and 2. 1 will be dust text 2. We don't need cutoff 3. We don't need cutoff 3. Because everything. Yeah, I'm a little dumb, dude. And every value over cutoff 2 will use text 3. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Otherwise, I'd literally be picking up a year-old save file in RPG you didn't fit it. Yep, that's exactly how it feels out. Yeah, that's how it feels like. There's a bunch of games I refuse to come back to just because I'm like, I don't remember what I was doing. And I don't know where to go from here. That happened with me with Skyrim. All right, beautiful. Okay, so we have these. I think if there's a time to rename these guys to something more clear about what its purpose is, because like dust text and miasma noise really isn't very helpful descriptions for me. By the way, this provides the textured noise that gives the miasma its surface. Okay, and then cool. And these are gonna be public global stuff. So probably should make this capital L. Maybe even like have a denotation of like static, because that's essentially what it's gonna be. It's like static memory. Static memory. Regular old static memory. Okay. So, dust text. Maybe I'll just call this dirt map. Dirt map 0. Dirt map 1. And dirt map 2. So level 0 cutoff. Level 1 cutoff. 0. 0. We have to decrement all these things. Because of course, you're not dumb at all. I tried. I only did the set high because the notification was blocking my screen. I must see all the code spaghetti. Don't take that away from me, YouTube. Yep. Yeah, I don't know, actually, I don't watch many streams on vertical YouTube land. I haven't tried that at all. But, I mean, it seems pretty nice, because it's either this, or I show you the whole monitor, and, like, the code becomes illegible. Like, at least here you can kind of read what's going on here. You can kind of pretend like we know and understand what's happening here. That's what I do. That's what I tell myself when I try zooming into like code when I'm watching someone else stream. But I gotta say, man, this is actually kind of peak peak usability. In all honesty. Also, let me edit my chat. Tie commands embedded in stream. Yeah, I was supposed to add. I forgot. I was gonna add the overlay for chat. Let me get the browser source real quick. Browser chat. And then, oh, I'm blocking my beautiful face. Anything but that. Embedded in stream. Copy this guy. You go here. I'm gonna make you very small, because that's how I simply roll. And we're just gonna be happy about this. 1920 by, it's 1080. Yeah, that's just what I'm gonna do. Here we go. Beautiful. Now we have a little bit of chat. A little chat. I'm not sure where to put it. I should put it over my face. Or maybe not. Who knows? Fits perfectly in vertical mode and I can talk to you. Otherwise, it'd be fancy watching on my Xbox. Yeah. No, that's the goal. That's the goal. I want this to be easy on like normal monitor settings. Like if you're on your phone, it should be easy enough to see it. It's kind of crazy. We've lived long enough where there's a reasonable expectation where vertical is a preferred form factor. It's crazy how that works. You either live long enough to be you either die a hero or live long enough to become a villain, right? Or to become vertical form factor. Customize chat. Yeah, I'm gonna do some little modifications here, because it's kind of very blurry, if I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be real with you. Let's try, can I make this bigger? Scale. Okay, let's try this out. Let's try this out. Hopefully it just works. Okay, that's chunky now. Beautiful. Beautiful. Big chunky time. Big chunk. And I'm just gonna make this a little bit taller, so we can have like two lines of dialogue at any given point. What is this? I don't know. Okay, we saved it. We're good. All right, dirt map. And let's document it as well to make future me happy. These maps indicate what part of the map, or the level, let's say, is dirty and which ones are clean. So this refactor we're doing is going to be an extensive one. We're going to be breaking a lot of things. Things are going to cease to work, and it's fine. It's going to be fine. We're going to be good. Life is going to be fine. Things are going to be turbulent for a while, but it's okay. Sometimes you have to leave with your suitcase to find a home that's very cozy. That's just what you got to do in life sometimes. And let's go to the dust manager. And we're going to be doing some stuff here. So now we have this new thing. what did I call this? First of all, no more of this. No more camera pipeline. No more test component. Though I probably have to codify that at some point. But we will save that for another time. Cozy surface. Nope. Standard surface. Here we go. Actually, no, utilities. Dirt map is what we're calling this. Beautiful. Where's the dust manager? Don't lie to me. I know the dust manager's here somewhere. Here we go. Yeah, you're gonna be using Dirt map 0. We're gonna have a couple of these guys here. It's gonna 1 and 2. Very nice. We are crustacean finding a new shell. Old shell was fine, but we grew too big for it exactly and need a better, bigger home. That's exactly where we're at. We're crustacean homeless. Homeless not due to bad circumstance, but to growth. Good circumstances. Okay, I'm gonna leave these compile errors here because they're signifying that we need to do certain things now, do we? And we have things to consider. Big things to consider. But before we do that, dust zone. Dust stain. So I thought this was going to be easier conceptually to do because I'm like, oh, we just like have a circle or a box and then we just fill it in with stuff. And now I'm realizing that that might be more complicated because that really depends on the resolution of the area that we're doing. And this could greatly slow things down potentially, especially, but hopefully actually not. Like writing, because keep in mind, this whole dirt mechanic is really just at the end of the day drawing to a texture. And drawing to a texture isn't really that crazy or expensive. It's just the applying thing. But we're going to have to pay that cost anyways once at the start at least. And continuously throughout the application. So it's not that big of a deal in actuality. So if that's the case, I think I should not worry as much. The only thing is making sure that things actually look correct. And filling out this circle correctly. I'm going to have to think about this. A consistent, good, easy way of doing this that works well at a bunch of different resolutions. The box would be an easy thing to do, I think. Maybe not, actually. Maybe all of this is going to be fundamentally weird and wonky to... Or maybe not. It should be easy, I think. I keep going back and forth. Okay. Let's do a switch statement here. I mean, there's no real point in implementing this right now because there's no way to test it because I'm breaking stuff. I could, of course, unbreak stuff, but then where's the fun in that? And I know there are some dirt utilities. Like, was it called dust utilities, I think? Dust utilities, yes. And it has static classes. Yeah, so we have ways of modifying the texture. So I can do, like, what? Is dirty, get dirty pixels for region. Oh, my goodness. I actually did a surprising amount of functionality in here. We can set the visibility of this stuff. We can fade in and fade out. We can clean the space. We can check if his space is clean, is dirty, is wall. Oh yeah, that was a thing. That was an idea too. I was like thinking about implementing like fluid dynamics where you can have set colliders and then like your cell can only propagate if it's not going into a wall and if it's adjacent to a dirt. It was a whole thing. Like, that would be cool to kind of play around with. But, I think it's too, yeah. Okay, we have stain. We have stain circle. That does not work as advertised. And then do we have stain box? No. So I think we're going to keep this simple, though. I think we're going to just use these static utilities. And then what are you doing here? You need the dust manager. You need a world point. That's simple. And you need a max distance. Okay, we can do that. We can get you those things, buddy. We just need a private dust manager. And then on start. And then do some stuff. Well, Brew Guy sweeping left and right. Oh, 1 second. Let me scroll up. So earlier, the first part of the stream, you were saying how your game felt a little bare. I had an idea. Grain of salt in mind, but I thought walking animation, otherwise you wouldn't see. No, yeah, that's so you brought that up, and that's actually a very good idea. And one, I actually, because there's a fundamental issue, which is a disconnect between. Right now, players don't know that by walking, you clean the areas you step on, and that's a big problem. And part of that is like forcing them into a scenario where they see that, hey, by stepping and walking over things, you clean stuff. But it'll be better if his actual animation while running was him actually cleaning things. And maybe even more extreme would be like, hey, if he's not cleaning anything, we just do the normal run animation. But then once he enters like dirty areas, he actually starts cleaning them and doing the animation while he's running. No, that's a great idea, and we're very much aligned on that. Yeah, we'll do that at some point. We're gonna have to do that. I don't want to think about it. All art and asset stuff I don't want to think about right now, because there's a huge other thing we have to do, which is sprite sets, which we're not going to stress about that. But great idea. Thank you for that suggestion, Morgan. That's a super big brain, galaxy brain. Big brain. When you play fast. Yeah. What was I doing? Messy Mansion application. Get instance backend. Get module. Dust manager. I think that should be correct. Why are we not happy? Is massive. Yeah. No, this is definitely a high priority thing. But no, the sprite system thing also is high priority too. It's just I need to test this out with a single sprite set, and then that's gonna branch out to other sprite sets. But also part of that is like the hanging animations. That's another thing we have to actually finish that I've kind of just been neglecting because reasons. Why are we not happy? Are you not a module? Are you just a thing? 1 second. Are you just an object? You just exist there? Okay. That makes things easier, actually, but, okay. So, dust manager, and then what? Transform. Dot position. And then max distance. I guess is going to be scale. Transform. Dot local scale. .x. I think that's what we're gonna do. And then brother. Oh, brother. What else shall I do? And we have this utility class here that we need to extend. Stain spiral, stain circle, which is probably not going to work the way I intended to either. I do it in a dumb way that's probably not going to work. And that's going to be really massively imprecise. And we could talk about why this is bad, but... Square! We can cross that bridge when we get there. Oh! I made this an extension, so I can actually simplify this and just do manager.stain circle. Oh my goodness, look how thoughtful I was. How caring. That's crazy. And then dimension. This is a whole nother thing. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. This is more complicated than I'm starting to realize. This is a lot more complicated than I gave it credit for, man. And I really want to... I should probably explain it to you because I'm also... I know it's a bit more involved. I just don't know how to express it. So, okay. We're going to do this. Before I go to Miro, we're going to go back into the game. It's going to be angry. All the shaders are broken. Yay! Broken shaders. It's okay, because we don't have to use them. We're actually going to go into dirt. And we talked about the idea how everything is just a picture in this game. What defines what part of the level is dirty is just a picture. If it's white, it's going to be marked dirty. If it's black, it's clean. Crazy idea, right? Now, every single pixel here is like some square unit within the world. It's not a perfect thing. It's not like one pixel is 1 square meter, but we're just gonna pretend like that's the case. So like this is 1 square meter in the game, this is 1 square meter in the game, and so on and so forth. Well, we have a little predicament, which is the fact that this stain object that we're gonna be placing around the level may or may not align cleanly with the grid. In fact, it's not going to align cleanly with the grid. So we need to kind of approximate these shapes and avoid redundant stuff. Because, for example, here we go. Copy, paste, delete this. We're going to pretend this is a single picture, a pixel within that texture. A single pixel, right? And let's say there's a grid of pixels. It's a raster image. So we're gonna put this guy there and then give him some friends, and it's gonna be great and a happy old time together. And then we place one of these, what did I call the class? A dust stain. That could be in any shape, a box or circle. So let's say we place a box stain, and we're gonna make this a separate color so we can tell them apart. Or maybe I should make these guys a separate color. Yeah, we're gonna make them a soft gray so they kind of blend in. So this is a raster grid, these are pixels. And then in our game world, we have this dust stain. And one of them is a square or rectangle shape. We can even do that. Well, okay. We're gonna have to figure out how, if we have this box here, how we're gonna programmatically draw in these pixels in a way that isn't like art stupid. Because we could do a thing where, like, I don't know, we have this box defined and then we iterate through this coordinate system at an arbitrary scale, and then mark pixels that are there as dirty. So, you know, for example, we can split this side here, like let's say by a factor of 10. So we're gonna move 1/10, or we're gonna check here, try to mark it dirty, move 1/10, try to mark it dirty, 1/10, mark it dirty, so on and so forth, right? And these pixels will be marked as dirty and this one would still be clean. And that's fine. It just means that, hey, we are kind of doing this huge, we're just kind of doing a bunch of redundant calculations here, and or performing a bunch of redundant operations here, which is, you know, whatever. But here's another problem that emerges, which is if the resolution is actually way bigger, let's say this dust stain is this huge, and now all of a sudden that 1/10 of the side step skips a couple pixels. So we say, okay, this one's dirty, and then we do 1/10 of a step, and now it's over here, and it marks as dirty. Well, that step was a little too big, wasn't it? So we end up missing out on this pixel in the middle. So that's one level of complexity, is determining the step amount to mark pixels as dirty. The other weird thing is that since we're using a transform, we can arbitrarily orient this in a way that isn't super simple. Like so. And now we have to figure out how to iterate through this on this grid and mark things as dirty. Now this is not as crazy because we can still do that iteration. If we can solve painting the pixel in this orientation, we can just use a thing called the local transform to convert from the local orientation here to the world space, and that's fine. So that's one problem solved, which is how we're going to deal with this orientation issue. The second problem of the step size per side, we can use the scale of this to determine that. So the bigger the scale, the smaller the steps we take to compensate for that. So it's going to be inversely proportional. So the greater the scale value is, the smaller the steps. And likewise, the smaller the scale value, the bigger the steps? That doesn't sound right. Well, I guess it would be technically correct to do that. It just has to be bounded in some way. Because this makes sense when it's big, smaller steps. And I guess we just do early exits where if the step is so big, we exceed the maximum length of one side, we just early return. And in this situation, it makes sense. We drew in this pixel once, we stepped over, hey, this is outside of that pixel. Screw it. Exit early or move on to the next line. We're going to be going boop, 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 like that. Okay. I feel like I've taken some significant steps in understanding this better. There's edge cases to consider, like if we do parenting and stuff like that, which if you don't know in Unity, changes how we do these transformations. But hey, this is at least a step up in understanding. I feel like there's some actionable step we can take here. And at the very least, we know what kind of parameters we need to perform. So for example here, if we have a method, let's add some space here. So we have a method here like paint rectangle. That's probably a better name for this. We have to define a couple things. We have to define our float to, okay, vector to, the step size. We have to have some way of determining that. We have to probably do some for loops, nested for loops for the x and y, x, and then we're gonna iterate through this, I don't know, through int, float, I don't know, some lower bound and some upper bound. We've done this code before for the terrain editor, so it's not as crazy. And then, yeah, we're probably gonna make this a float, and then we're gonna have to do like a min and max. So if you have the scale, if the scale is unit 1, then we're gonna have to do stuff. Why stress? Want to talk about it? Seems like you're feeling pressured about your project today. No, it's a thing we have to do. Like this, it's a thing in general where it's like, when you think about solving a problem, there's all these extra implications, and if you don't do it right here, you're gonna have to do it right later, and that's never fun, especially when later is a more like pressing time. But this isn't too crazy. It's just a bit of a wonky thing. Oh, does my camera overheat? Mr. Camera. Oh, the battery. I forgot. I forgot to use. I'm still using the local battery instead of using a instead of using the wired one. Because of course I have. It's still nice that this lasted as long as it did using the using this. Here we go. But yeah, like these things are kind of always, I don't know. Typically, like you get like the it's just having all that state in your brain. You know what I'm saying? So step size and how we're going to determine that. Okay, and then we have to have these things. So we're going to determine vector to min and a vector to max. And how are we going to do this? And we're going to iterate in local space. Then we should probably use local scale. And if we're going to iterate across that, then we should do new vector 2. Okay. Vector 2, and then we're going to do, what are we going to do? We're going to do transform dot local scale dot x, and then we're going to use local scale dot z for this part, because of course, and we're going to use negative because we're assuming positive values here for scale information. Because I said so. Da, da, da. The work here is literally the skeleton of comes after, and fix it later would sink pretty bad. I got you. Yeah. Well, it's like and especially before when I was trying to get the release for this game out, those bugs were particularly the most frustrating because like you know, it's a like those things they rear their head at the most critical times. And this is not even that crazy. This is small. Like architecturally speaking, this is relatively self-contained. It doesn't have that much side effects. So it's not too crazy. But still, there are certain things that just do that to you. Max x, and then we have to do x plus equals step size, which step size x. Cool, and then we're gonna do the same thing here. Why are you problematic today? X equals min.x, x is less than max.x, x plus equals step size dot x. Why are you being problematic? It's because you're not initialized, that's why. It's okay, we'll do default. So you're not as mad. And then we're gonna do the same thing here. Yeah, this is not that crazy. Once you reason it. The thing is, when you reason about, it doesn't seem as crazy. But when you're facing the problem initially, it's like, okay, I know this is like a crazy thing, and we're dealing with like abstract concepts that are going to become very real. So it's like, all right, brain, you're going to pay the cost right now to construct this mental model and figure out what is going on. And then once you do it, everything's going to be smooth sailing. It's just a matter of paying that cost. Paint rectangle, and we're going to be iterating through local space, and that's fine. We do that. And then what do? We do manager dot stain. Oh, first of all, we get the correct world space coordinates. So we do, what do? We do float vector 2 world space chord, and that's going to be equal transform local to world matrix times new vector 2 x and y, and this will be the world space coordinates. And then we can do stain. Can we just, is there no like just stain thing? Wait, I know there's got to be a dust utility for staining a single pixel, right? Clean space. I think it's called dirty space, maybe. Really? I don't have one? I have get pixel, set pixel, get pixel, clean, stain. Oh, it's just called stain. Oh, it's on the texture too. Oh. Oh. Where is this being called? I think we're gonna do an extension of this. But instead of texture 2D, we're gonna use dust manager. And then you're gonna just do unless manager has a function for that, I don't know. Makes sense. Skeleton, yep. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's why I offer to listen. It's good to talk it out so it's not overwhelming your headspace. Yep, makes the task you're doing now more approachable. Oh yeah, definitely. Most definitely, and I appreciate that. Big appreciate. Oh. One second, I'm checking something real quick. Have I reached Instagram's limit? Maybe, because I don't see the live happening anymore. Strange how that works. I don't know why it's oddly inconsistent. That's okay. We live. We live, laugh, lamau. Okay. But yeah, okay, let's figure out this API, this little API we have for ourselves here. Because I realize there's some stuff involved here with this dust manager, which isn't as easy peasy lemon squeeze as I would have thought. And it's because, yeah, when we do a modification to this texture, we have to also notify it that it needs to be rebuilt. And mark for rebuild, yep. That's like a simple, yeah, that's easy. Okay, then yeah, we're good. It's easy then. Okay, so go back to dust utilities, do manager. What? Dirt text, set pixel, Did I not change your name? I didn't. We have these values here, but we never change it here. Ooh. Nay, nay. That is no bueno. Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs. Okay. So if that's the case, then I simply must do something. It's fine. Set done. Yep. And then manager dot mark for rebuild. And we'll specify what this operation is doing. Stain pixel. Beautiful. World. Space. Chord. And life is good. Everything is happy. Kumbaya. There is peace in the world. I believe. For now. Unless this local to world matrix is opposite. Because for some reason I think it's flipped, but it's whatever. We can ignore that. We can pretend like that's not a problem until we face that problem. And then now box is going to be paint rectangle. And that's a simple thing. Now this draw a circle thing, I want to trust and believe that this is going to behave as I intended to, but I just simply do not believe it. I believe it to be false. Oh, my bad for that feedback. I forgot how sensitive the mic is. I'm so used to using the low lavalier that isn't barely sensitive to anything. That can barely pick up my voice. I forget about the great power that a condenser provides. And the great responsibility it entails. Oh, brother. Okie dokie. Artichoke. Well, we're not going to be able to test it until we get the rest of the infrastructure in. So we're just going to leave this in a state of, I'm pretty sure it works. Probably not. But I'm pretty sure it works. Actually, no, it does not work because we haven't still defined step size. This is the weird one. Because we need it to be consistent and it's going to be inversely proportionate. Whereas rectangle transform dot scale or local scale. And we need to swizzle this. XZ. Oh my goodness. Look at me. I'm so smart. I already had a swizzle in place. Who'd have thought? And I'm trying to do things in a C++ way. But no, it's still unhappy. Why are we unhappy today? Why do you hate me? What have I done to you? Of type float and vector 2. Oh my goodness. Do I need a... How do you do this? How do you switch this to a multiplicative? Change this to like multiply. And then like... Oh, brother. How do we do this? I forget how we do this. If it's even possible. It's probably possible. It should be possible. There should be a reciprocal of this. But I don't know. Like, I know... Oh, it's on here, though, in the denominator. Like, I know if we do this in the denominator, that's the equivalent of multiplying by 0.5. But that's just evaluating that expression. But this is a variable. We can't just do that. We can't just evaluate that. So, okay, no, we're still up creek. So what can we do? We can just do... Brother. I can just do this. Vector to... I'm just going to write a component division thing.
That's just what we're going to do. Yeah, where's my vector utilities? We're just going to extend these bad boys out. Yes, sirree. Yeah. That's what we're going to do. Public static vector 2 divide this vector 2 what was it, the dividend? Okay, we're gonna this is like super, I'm exposing myself real quick. This is division, divider versus divisor. So the dividend is what's divided. Divisor is the guy who does the division, and then quotient's the result. Okay, thank you. So dividend with a D. See, we learn something new every day. Dividend, and then the other vector 2 is going to be the divisor. And it's going to return the quotient. And then we're just going to return a new vector 2. What am I doing? And we're just going to do component-wise division. X divided by dividend divided by divisor dot X. Duplicate these bad boys. Make this a Y. Type in a bunch of gibberish for fun. Then fix it. Cool. And then now we can go back to our dust utilities, or I think dust stain. And now we can do vector 2. We can do, I don't know, vector 2.1 divided by and in fact we can make this even more clear. Oh, come on, I don't have my refactor button bounded. Divided by, to very clarify that this is the dividend and it's being divided by a thing. Beautiful. It's great when you see the code kind of look like English. Vector 2, 1 divided by, and then transform localzilla xz. Of course, of course, of course. And what is that going to do again? As scale gets bigger, it's going to get smaller because we're dividing by 1. Okay. Now, let's go back to Miro land because there's some things that still have to quite figure out a little bit. There's some oddities that are still afoot that bring me question, confusion, and fear. And that is how this is actually going to work out. Okay, guitar time. Because that helps out thinking through that's not even difficult, it's just my brain's a little tired. A little tuckered out. I had a moment at work today where it's like, they introduced like this requirement, and I was like, oh my goodness, this architecture's all ruined now. The architecture's all ruined. Everything is bad. And then like it turns out, no, I was actually smart enough a couple weeks ago to implement that thing. I just completely forgot that I did that. So that was a very cool thing. That sounds discordant. Okay. So what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? It's inverse proportional. We're using the extents of this local scale. Always mess that up. Okay, so this is my fidget spinner. So if it's inverse, so we're using extents. That means extents 0. Local scale 0 means that it's infinitely small, and that's a bad thing. So we're not going to do that. And then if it's 1, that means we're going to have a step of what? 1 divided by 1 is just 1, which means that in local space we're going to move over, we're going to go through the entire size of it. But that's actually going to be half because the extent is only 1/2. Extent is like the distance from the center to the edges of it, right? But if we're trying to go from edge to edge, we actually have to do extents times 2. So if our current value for the step value, when its step value is 1, is the extent value is 1, then we're only going to get to half. So we actually have to double the step, I think, to actually get across everything. Okay. So I'm assuming this has to be multiplied by 2. 2 times. And that should be good. Cool. Now, we'll do our cutoff thing later. I think just for testing functionality, this is important. So what we're going to do, stay in square, that's not going to be a thing. What we're going to do is go to Dust Manager and get rid of stuff. We're going to get rid of these errors, and then we'll be sure to re-include them later. And I'm going to denote these areas with like a or actually no, I might just yeah, I'll just change the name of this text one more time, and that'll highlight everything that needs to be affected by these changes. And if we do that, this should recompile, I believe. Should recompile. And oh yeah, shaders are going to be terrible. Shaders are going to be all forms of jacked up. I think if we run it, should fix them, I think. And it doesn't. And things are still terrible. Oh, fantastic. Oh, wait, only some things are terrible. Some things are terrible, but not everything is terrible. And I think I know why. I changed the name of stuff, and I forgot to rename these variables. which I believe now, instead of dust text, we have dirt map. Unless... Yeah, no, that's correct. Dirt map. 0. We can obviously start implementing a lot of that functionality of branching stuff, but don't necessarily have to do that. And then we have, let's find an area that is clean, relatively clean, like the starting area. That sounds like a great candidate for this testing spot. And yeah, here. Yeah. And we need to make a new game object. We also have to have the gizmos actually jog correctly. Let's do the thing. Let's simply just do the thing, and rewards will come after. It shall come simply after. We go here. We have to do. So Unity has this built-in function for everything that extends from model behavior that lets us draw stuff without having to go through shaders and whatnot. And it's called onDrawGizmos. It's a very handy dandy thing. And we can do a bunch of stuff with this. So we have our type. We can add our switch statement. We only have box, so we're just gonna do gizmos, draw. I believe we'll do cube, wire cube. And we're just gonna use, I believe, we actually just use vector unit, vector 3, 1, and vector 3, 0 here. And we just have to set the local space coordinates. Gizmos matrix equals transform local to world. I think that's how that works, to make sure that it's proportionate. It's like oriented locally to the game object itself. Something like that. And of course, the most important thing is the color, which we're gonna use something else, something aggressively different than our dust zones. We'll use cyan. And that should be good enough for determining how things shall be drawn. And I believe that will work fine. So we're gonna test this out. Let's go into hierarchy. Let us add assets. Create. Or actually no, there should be a 3D thing. There's no 3D thing. Whatever. Or is player. Add a game object. Create empty. That's actually perfectly fine and suitable. You're all the way over there, but we'll bring you here, whether you wish to or not. Oopsie. Accidentally lost you. That's kind of the problem with empty game objects, that you kind of lose them very easily. And then let's also add our dust stain component. And now you see we have this box option here, and we can make it a circle or whatever, and it's fine. We can bring you over here, and we see our beautiful cyan cube, indicating that this stuff is dirty. What a wonderful time to be alive. And we can increase the size of the cyan cube and the Z, and let's see if this actually does what we want it to. And I'm also going to change this to not be focused. We're going to be unfocused. Beautiful. It's already like that. So theoretically, when we press the play button, everything in this is going to be marked dirty, and it's going to work perfectly. And nothing happened. Oh, yeah, nothing happened. Beautiful. That is mildly disappointing. No exceptions, though, so that's a good, I guess? A good. That is something. But it is not what we desired. That is sadly not what we desired. We shall get there, Tiger. Amazing progress. Yes. Splendid progress. We have the cyan cube. But okay, at least there's no exception though. So we have that in our belt. We have that. We haven't crashed, broken the game. There's like a dumb implementation I did a while ago that would actually cause the game to just break like that. So, no hard crashes from Unity. Fantastic. Yeah, that was during our burst compilation thing. That was fun. But no, something has gone awry. Look at the world matrix. It might be this. We might have to actually flip it. World to local matrix. Also, I'm curious. Okay, this does work as intended. So let's try it again. Try it again, Batman. Shall we just try it again? We press play. Recompiling domain. Is the game running? I don't know if the game's running. It should be running, and this would be looking different, but it didn't. So I'm very confused. Maybe it's loading, and I just haven't realized it. No, but it's not blocking you. No, it's not running. There's no gameplay to be seen here. And the rigid body hasn't simulated this physics yet. So I'm greatly confused. Greatly confused about what exactly is going on here. Okay. I pressed play and it's not playing. This is very weird. This is very confusing. Is this a Linux is weird thing? Is this using Unity on Linux as a oddly forbidden thing and you don't get niceties? That might be it, because it's going to play mode, but I'm not seeing a loading bar, I'm not seeing nothing. Maybe I just need a... Oopsie. I press right. Okay, now it's recompiling domain. Okay. Let's see if that was the thing holding us back from greatness. Okay. So it does not appear to be the thing that's holding us back from greatness. Tragic. So, what's the next thing we need to do here? What is the next thing we need to do? Because we have this for loop, and we're iterating through it. That's cool. What if we make this size arbitrarily smaller? Why not do that? Let's just make the steps even smaller. Step size will be what? Times 10. So like, okay, let's send it, man. I mean, the next option would be, and this is gonna be really gross, but for us to visually see what's happening here, we can slow this down and have it, we can change this to a coroutine and then slow it down so we can see every single iteration of this. Or, and then draw a gizmo so we can visually see what's going on here. That'd be gross, but that'd also probably be the most insightful way of debugging what is going on here. And if all appears lost, we're gonna do that. Yep. Okay, time to be gross, guys. Time to be disgusting. but it is okay. We came from the filth. We emerged from it. The primordial filth soup. And actually, we're not going to copy this. We're just going to change this into an IE numerator. Yep. Import the stuff. Yep. Nope. Yep. And then what are we going to do? What are we going to do again? All right, we're going to be moving a dot across every single thing here. So we're going to have we have this variable world space coordinate. We're going to make this be a private variable in the class so that we can draw this in the gizmos. So over here in the gizmo, we're going to draw gizmos, draw sphere, and then we're going to use a position of world space chord. Can we swizzle this into... Do I have an XYZ swizzle? I don't have an XYZ swizzle. Oh my goodness. I'm lacking. And then the size of, like, let's say 0.1f. Maybe even smaller. Who knows? And then let's go to our vector utilities and just add a little swizzler for vector 2. Very cool. This is going to be XYZ. It's going to take in a vector 2. Oh. Ooh, there's something very weird that I'm going to do here. Yeah, I'm going to do something. This is going to be very odd. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Because ideally... This is assuming the vector 2... Because we can use normal casting. Okay, we're just not going to worry about it. We're just going to pretend everything is fine. Like any good marriage, we're going to ignore all the problems and we're just going to act like everything's fine. Yes, everyone's happy. Everyone's happy, okay? We're all happy here. There's no problems. There's no Warren Bong Sing Se. All right? And your father does not have a drinking problem. Okay? We're all happy here. We're all happy. It's all happy. And we will worry about these problems when they explode in our face. That's just what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do, buddy. That's just what we're going to do. And what am I doing here? We set the variable here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And here, we're going to do the X, Y, Z. Swizzle. Nice. Exactly like Doctor ordered. And then now we just have to make this function do that really bad delay wait. So we're going to do like every single iteration, yield, return, I don't know, new wait 4 seconds, 0.1f, maybe like half a second. That sounds good to me. That sounds good to me. And finally, we have to make the caller actually start a coroutine. So start coroutine. Yes. Fantastic. And I believe we should just be good now. We should just be happy. So we're gonna press play, and oh yeah, we should also set the color to red. I believe that's the main thing we need to do. Okay. Oh yeah, I have to go into Unity and press play. Okay. This should just work. And we should see this progress. If I were fancier, we'd add a button so we can keep doing this over and over again. I'm not seeing this circle pop up anywhere. So that's problem number 1. We're not seeing this circle anywhere. In fact, it would be very helpful if we were to see just where in the world is Carmen Sandiego. No, where these coordinates are being set. Excuse me. Also, these values are going to be... Oh, yeah, this would be the Z value. It shouldn't be Y, it should be Z. Because we don't use a Y value here. And what do we do? Oh yeah, Z. Y. Yes, that should be Y. Min X. The step size. XZ. Okay, I believe this should be good. I believe this should be good. Stain pixel. Let me actually print out these coordinates too. World space chord. And yes. Okay. I'll go to world matrix. Might try multiplying this. This is doing a cast. Do I need a... Do I need to make this a vector 3 and 0 to make sure this is a correct multiplication, multiplicative, and then this is using an int 2. Is there a weird conversion happening here that I'm just not aware of? Int 2 create. It should be very specific about what we're doing. X space chord dot Z Y. Oh, brother, we're doing weird stuff. Okay, no, there's oddities happening here. Oddities. Yeah, I'm doing weird stuff. That's why. That's probably part of the reason here. I'm just being a weirdo and doing these weird conversions around that I could probably simplify, but I'm just not doing. Okay, let's just hope that was the problem. Running it again. Hopefully everything is good. Hopefully you're all happy. Hopefully that was just the main issue here. And if it's not, then geez, sucks for us. Okay, we're seeing these steps happen. -4. So let's see where we're at for context. This is in that's position 0, 0. What are you talking about? Maybe in the local space. Yeah, no, where is it? Where are we? Okay. Okay, so we have a consistent, we have one at root. So this is position 840. This is at -44 and -6. So I'm assuming that transform our world to local matrix is backwards. We got it backwards. We got it twisted. Okay, so hopefully it's just that, and we can clean up this and make it look beautiful again, and actually have some pretty code for once. Yeah, I'm gonna move this over here. Can we press play? Are we in? Not sure if we're happy. Yeah, this is even worse. This is even smaller values. As even smaller values, nowhere near our origin spot. Okay. So what's the problem here? We have this we're using local scale for getting these min and max values. We're assuming all these components are correct. We can enforce this, but I don't think that's just dim. A bad. I mean, it's not that bad, honestly, but it's extra steps that are not needed. And I know for a fact that we're not violating any of these assumptions. I think, but I guess, you know, that's kind of the problem with assumptions, is that usually when it goes wrong, you don't realize it because you assumed. Maybe the swizzle operator is... Yeah, that's probably it. That's at least partly part of the problem. I'm not sure why this is an issue, though. Is this a non-commutative thing? Is this what's going on here? Do I have the multiplication backwards? Do I have to do like this against a matrix? Or better yet, to remove ambiguity, we could just do transform dot I think inverse transform point transform position from world space to local space. No, we want to go into world space. Yeah, so just normal transform point to convert this coordinate space, and then so that makes sense. Why are you angry? You should be happy. What do you mean expected? Oh, one of those. Oh. Okay, so hopefully this removes some ambiguity. Let's try it again and hope for the best. And then if not, then I guess we're really having a skill issue day. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I see not the ball. The ball. Oh, wait, 1 second. First of all, the data looks correct. So the issue now is that the ball is in the wrong coordinate space. It should be in local space. Because we're using local space. No, we're not. No, we're not. This is world space coordinates. This is a world space coordinate right here. So we should probably overwrite it. We swizzle it, and that gives us vector 2, right? Yeah. Override. Oh, we're doing so many weird, dumb things, dude. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The amount of dumb things we're doing right now is outstanding. World space coordinate dot y equals. Can we assign Yeah, we can assign individual values. Okay, transform dot position dot y world space. Very cool. Okay, and now we're gonna press play, and I think everything is gonna be right in the world. I think things are gonna be right as rain. So we press play. Compiling domain. Come on. Pretty please. Pretty please. No. I feel pain. This is not right. This is very incorrect. It's all the same values for the current position, which is really not good. So, yet again, I am befuddled. I am perplexed. Bamboozled. And these are the same value. Yep. Very cool. Let's maybe get rid of this dividend. Probably not the problem. Or maybe the problem. Who knows? But no matter what, even then, it should still be visible here. Unless the gizmos is can I set this to null? Because I set it to default. Hopefully that works. Because maybe Gizmos is still remembering the state that it was left in. I'm hoping that's the case. And that all my problems are going to go away as soon as we press play. Nope, and it's still the same values too. Very cool. So let's see. Let's actually see physically in the game world where this coordinate is and see what's actually being done here. So I'm going to create a new game object, this time with an actual render owner, sphere, and then we're going to set sphere to these exact coordinates. Wait a second. Oh, I'm dumb, I think. I think I'm dumb. And that's because it's still a vector 3. Ha ha ha. There we go. I'm a fool. I'm silly. I'm so silly. Cause, oh my goodness. No wonder this guy was confused. No, it should be fine because I'm oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna simplify things. We're gonna stop trying to be clever. We're just gonna do things how they're meant to be done. It's fine. It's fine. We don't need to be clever. Let's just be right. I'm overriding the y value, but that shouldn't matter because we're using this as a local coordinate, so that should be fine. Current step, whatever. And then this should be fine. This is vector 3 now. Okay, this should be correct. Let's hope and see. We press play. Peak development. This is how life is. This is what we sign up for. This is what we live for. Get some water in me. Okay. Different values now. Still not visible, but that's a step up. Now let's actually see where these game objects are being placed. Game object, 3D sphere, and then we're going to type in the inspector the actual coordinates of this. So it's what the latest one was 7, 9, 6, 0.14. And this one is 9160, and then a z value of 6, 82.98. So this is over there. This is all the way over there. Okay. Where am I? Where did I go? I need to turn off this fog for debugging purposes. I'm pretty sure I selected the game object. Okay. So it's all the way over here where this is, and I'm not seeing a gizmo be drawn here. So unless I have gizmos turned off, which I do not, there's something else weird going on that I am not aware of. Now this is a massive, like, it's kind of in the ballpark, but it's still not correct. So beyond just using a gizmo to draw on, I think we're gonna have this actually create a game object so we can actually see the transform moving around, just to make life even easier. And I worry, no, and it's not a transform being backward, because now we're using the convert, something that guarantees transforms position from local space to world space. So it'll be an issue with the steps we're taking or the min and max values we're using. One of these, step size, local scale, this might need to be halved, because this might not be extents. This might be just straight up full scale, and that might be causing, because it seems like this coordinate was twice the size. And let's make this a bit bigger, the radius. Okay, let's try this again. I'm feeling more optimistic. I feel like we're getting closer and closer to the truth. So we're gonna press play again, and I'm hopefully we see a gizmo somewhere hopping around doing some weird stuff. We're not seeing one. Oh my goodness. Let me make this bigger too, so I can justify making the gizmo like half a unit instead of 0.05, and just run that sucker again. Yeah, I'm yet to see anything moving here. We're gonna do the same thing. Game object, sphere, and see where this is residing. It's weird that the gizmo isn't being drawn. Yeah, gizmos draw a sphere. We set the color to red, like set the matrix to the default, which I think should be fine, but in fact, get rid of this. One more time. From the top. See, and this is just a box, dude. Imagine if we were doing the sphere. That'd be a whole other thing we'd have to contend with. That'd be a whole nother thing. Let's... Where is the, where are you? Where is the... the object. Where's the... Okay, here we go. You, my friend, you are positioned y equals 91. This is 1, y equals 91. 840, this is 460, and this is 350. So it shouldn't be that far away. In fact, it should be relatively within the box. So I'm thinking, like, what can that be? Is there just something wrong with the rendering? It's rendering this fine. Color sphere should be cool. And then we draw the center as world space coordinates. Yeah, because we're using world space. And then we use 0.5 as the radius. That should be relatively large enough of a radius. And this is the correct function because we're drawing the cyan, which is good. And then we're drawing this local to world matrix. That seems fine to me. I see no complaint there. Okay, I don't know what's going on because I feel like this gizmo is just not drawing correctly, which is very weird. Because I've drawn plenty of complex stuff before, so it's very weird for this to not be to be doing that. So I'm gonna create a game object on start, and that can at least hopefully track things. Private game object test. And then we're going to use, I don't know, game object test is equal to game object create primitive sphere. And then in here, we're going to be setting test dot transform dot position equals world space coordinate. And this should hopefully get rid of any weird ambiguity. Again, nothing here. Let's go. But now we have this dust stain. Let me go into debug mode. We can select this game object now. In the hierarchy, it should be here. So where are you? Brother, how did you get up here or down here? Where is down here? It's way below the level. Okay. How did that happen? What's the exceptions we're running into? Null reference. What are you talking about? What? How is this null? We instantiated here. Okay, we're gonna change this to awake. That shouldn't impact this. Oh, it should, because this is happening after. Of course. Never mind. I'm just being a simpleton. It's fine. We're just doing little mistakes. It's okay. It's okay. Come on, I want to see the land. I'm really happy with the terrain thing. The terrain tile builder is really cool, and I kind of wish I used it more. I feel like it's kind of underutilized. I don't do enough cool things with it. But there's actually quite a lot of possibilities that can be done with it. Once we get back to level designing, we can play around with it. Okay. Yet another moment of truth. The moment of truth, if you will. Okay, so this is still gone. Where is the sphere? Okay, again, very weird coordinate. It seemed like it's closer to the thing, but it's also not. It's also far away like crazy. Like, why are you so far away? That's crazy far away. What's going on with the scaling? Okay, and this is like with the extents too. So the extents, either the scaling and the extents are just crazy, or I don't know. X by 2. How many times 2? No, but that'd make this further away. Because we're iterating from this X position to this max X position, correct? So, and this is a step size. It's 1. Okay. And I'm going to turn off this fog. It's just making debugging difficult. It's pretty, but for this type of thing, not so much. Not so much. Where's lighting? Yeah, we're gonna turn off fog for now. And like, this is crazy far away. Okay. Try it again. Try it again. And again, the sphere is somewhere ridiculously far. Turn off debug. I just want to see this normally now. Yeah, 600 something. Compared to what? Like the origin position of this. Or a sphere. The Z is correct, or the Y is correct. But these are like orders of magnitude away from one another. It's kind of ridiculous, if I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure I double clicked on this guy. So what's going on here? How do we end up in this circumstance where these guys are just so far away from one another? Let's see if I can even encapsulate the distance between this region and where it's going off, shooting off to. Hierarchy. Sphere. Yeah, like all the way over there, dude. That's crazy. That's a crazy distance between the two. Yeah, so no, we're not going to do this. Well, first of all, this is redundant. I hate having to type this out. So we're instead going to do scale X, scale Y, or Z in this case. And it'll be transform. No, not tree node. Local scale X. Transform dot local scale Z. And then we do scale X. Scale Z. X. Z. Okay, and then yeah, in local space, I keep forgetting we're in local space, so this is perfectly fine because we're iterating within local space. That's what we're doing. This input coordinate is all local space, so this transforming is not a big consequence, and this step should actually be still doubled though, so that's fine. And then this is what? Yeah, so okay, I'm still correct on that. Yeah, okay, cool. Oh, you know what? No, we're good. Step size XZ. Yeah, we're good there. We're good here. We're zenning out. It's alright. I wanted to show the process of making a game. This is kind of part of it, man. Some days things flow super easily. Other times there's days where things are it's tough. It takes a bit of time to just get a 1 inch across. That's the process, baby. That's the process. You gotta take the bad with the good with the bad. And we're still far away over there, which is kind of insane. Look at that guy. He's moving. He's schmoving. Little by little, is he gonna go over to the other side? So why is that? Why is that the case? I believe we're using the correct transform. Let's look at this. Dustain. And it's always, with these bugs, it's always something simple, dude. It's always something dumb simple that you just overlook. That was good, Kieran. It's always good to see you. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Park stream didn't work out. It's okay. We're back home. With the vertical stream. The vertical stream. Crazy. Hope you're doing good though today. Hope you're doing swell. As we wrestle with this bug. This malformant formation, the way I'm thinking about this problem. It's just a matter of figuring out what. What is the problem? And it's going to feel great once we get it. It's going to feel great. I know it. Life is going to be good. World peace will be achieved. It will all be good. Your park streams start when it's like 5:30 a.m. Yeah, I'm assuming it's something like that. It's kind of tragic. You may never actually get to enjoy a park stream because by the time it's a reasonable hour for you, it's going to be dark over here and I'm going to get arrested for loitering. Either that or it's just going to be a black dark background. I think the only way we can make this happen is instead of going to a park, I go to a club or something. Then we can cross paths. We will be in the right time zone, the right timing and everything. And instead of a nice green environment, we're gonna have going on in the background. The perfect ambience for programming. The perfect ambiance for coding. Truly. Oh, brother. Space chord. Space coordinate. X, Y, and Z. We're printing out the world space chord. Let's even print out. Let's print out some more information, shall we? Let's print out. Local. Oh my god, I can't. Goodness, I can't type. Yeah. So we can see where exactly we are in local space, since we're seeing all this stuff in world space already. But not for the right reasons. What? What's so inconspicuous? Or what's so conspicuous about a man rolling up to a club with a laptop, an IDE, and just going ham on some C# or C++? What is crazy? I feel like I'd be pulling everyone like that. Actually, yeah, you're right. They would be giving me the eyes. But for all the right reasons. Sphere. And then we have this step. See, that's crazy. This is crazy talk. This is crazy talk. Oh, I understand now. And it's because I'm dumb and I'm stupid and I forgot how local space works. And it's the fact that it's normalized and not scaled. And I'm scaling it for whatever reason, because of course I am. Oh my goodness, I just had to do this. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. See, bad assumptions. I just assumed things and I wasn't actually looking deep at what's actually going on. And this is how we end up where we're at. And now step size has to be scaled depending on this. So like the bigger the space, the scale, so that should be fine. Oh my god. Oh, but we have to make it into steps. To unified steps, brother. We have to make it into unified steps. It has to be or normalized, not normalized, but work within a normal scale. Yeah. There we go. That's a yep. Now the question is, how do we make this scale appropriately across this? But now it's gonna be like a percentage question. So like if it's really big, then our percentage is going to be smaller proportionately, which is what we're doing, 1 divided by, yep. So if it's 1, it's going to be 1 to 1, 1 step. And if it's bigger than that, if it's larger, then we do like 10 steps. It's gonna, oh my goodness, it just works. NDC, what does that mean? To say you're also not dumb, you realize mistake. Yeah, we made it there eventually. It's not that I'm dumb, I'm tired. I think that's the biggest thing here, dude. Not tired like I don't want to do this. It's tired as in, oh, I've already expended like a lot of programming mana at work today, and now we're coming here to do this. So we're just operating on assumptions. But hey, we made it. We understand it. We're good. I believe. And then now, if we press play, and saving is not a big concern. It's amazing how Git, like for art, yes, you want to save like frequently, super frequently. And music, yeah, you want to save. But programming is this weird thing where it's like we're so used to breaking stuff that we built tools for ourselves that kind of mitigate the risk of it. It's amazing what Git does. Okay, and we're zooming in, and it's moment of truth, actual moment of truth for the 100th time, but this time I mean it for real. And I see something red there, but no, it's not the red thing I'm expecting. Oh no. No. Oh no, we do see it. Look, it's drawing stuff. It's just far away. It's very far away. But that's good. That's fine. It's because again, one last thing. The extents in Unity are at 0.5 f instead of 1, which makes sense. But I just have to remember it. But now we do. And now it should be within the box now. It shouldn't go outside of the box. What's in the box? Okay, and we are good? Good? Are we good yet? Are we good? Are we good? Please tell me we're good. Can I grab this? I'd like to move it up a little bit. I sure would like to move it up a little bit. Now, we have the position updates working. I'm assuming it's working. But I'm not seeing anything getting marked as dirty. Yeah, look at that. Look at that bad boy go. That's our boy. He's iterating across. That's our guy. So yeah, we have this process running correctly now. But yet I find that we're not seeing anything be drawn onto the canvas. And that is excruciatingly, maybe not excruciatingly, but that's quite disappointing. Which means there's something else that's going on here afoot that isn't quite right. And we're just going to have to figure that bad boy out, that Slim Jim Marino out. So let's ask ourselves, what could be going wrong? I'm pretty sure we're calling the correct code to dirty the map. Let's see here. Let's go through our little code stuff. So we're going to get rid of the print statements. We don't need them anymore. We have this function called stain pixel. Oh, we're using the wrong coordinates. We're using Z instead of Y. Or we're using Y instead of Z. And that should be hopefully an easy fix. And now we're going to press play and we should be dirtying things the way we want them to be dirtied. Oddly enough. And we press play and good things should happen. I think. Yes and no, but yes, but no. So this is doing the issue we talked about where it's missing pixels, which means our step length has to be tweaked a little bit. It has to be a bit smaller. But hey, now it's dirtying stuff the way we intended it to. Beautiful. And we're going to stop doing this little printer thing. We're going to just do this all at once now. We're going to get rid of all this debug things we're doing, which was fine before, but now we're big boys. We graduated. We've solved the problem. We use our thinking caps, and we have succeeded. And because we succeeded, we get to simplify this code a little bit. A little bit. A little bit we get to simplify. And let's change our step coefficient. Actually, first of all, let's get rid of this multiplicative. Because maybe that's the issue. Maybe the multiplicative was the culprit this whole time. Get rid of the coefficient. My computer is in battery saving mode. It may die soon. So who knows? Who knows? And crikeys. We did the thing, but I didn't see anything get dirty. And we just removed all the debug stuff, didn't we? Tragic. 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 Oh, wait, 1 second. Did I make sure to remove the wait for? Yeah, we did. The yield return wait for. Okay, what if I reintroduce this coefficient and try it again? Okay. Thank you for streaming. Thank you, Morgan. I'm glad you appreciate it. I'm glad these streams are of some value to you. Honestly, I don't quite understand, but I appreciate it. I'm glad that this is good for you. I'm glad that this is of service to someone. And we've made it through. And it's still not dirty. We'll make it through. I really do appreciate it though, Morgan. That means a lot. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. This is very weird. X, Z coordinate. We have the world space coordinate. We have this test object. It seems to be at the correct place. We placed it. The only thing I think about is that it's maybe beating our dust manager, so we have to maybe do this on start, and maybe we eliminate this race condition so it executes at a good time. We compile, we run, and we. Oh, I didn't press play, did I? We compile, we run, and we cast dust burn. No. Nope. Sadness. Okay, this is very weird now because for a number of reasons. We just saw it work before. We just saw this working before. Oh wait, was it in here? Was it in there? Where I did that ×2? I have ideas for games, and watching you go through the motion helps me inspire me that I can do it too and learn a bit of programming too. I'm glad. Yeah, game deving is always it's ups and downs, you know. But I know for me, when I see other people, like when I talk to coworkers who are super into programming, and I mean they're programmers by trade, right? But you know, there's something about talking with other people or engaging with other people who are super passionate about it that kind of just reinvigorates you and makes you want to just do it yourself. And then that's why I watch like programmer YouTubers too, because seeing them kind of get me fired up to do some additional work. Brother, what? What? I'm sorry, what? Okay, we're just gonna reintroduce everything. To try to understand where things are going wrong. So we have this box. We call it paint rectangle. We do this thing. We have the scale at 0.5. We have the negative scale. We have the positive scale. We iterate on the X and Z axis. We transform point. And we have the value here in world space chord, and we pass that into this variable here, and life should be good. The one other thing I can think about is maybe making this not a private field just makes things messed up. So we're just gonna remove that. It shouldn't. If that affects things and there's something critically fundamentally wrong about my mental scheme and understanding of C# and all that is good. But who knows? I've been wrong before. I could be wrong now. And okay, I'm glad that that's not the case. So, okay, if that's not the case, what's going on here in Stain Pixel that may be preventing things? So this requires the dirt text. We set it to the color white. Okay. So far, so good. We mark the manager for rebuild. That makes sense. It just says, hey, buddy, next frame, we got to rebuild. And, okay, that's fine. And we're using the correct dirt text, too. We're using dirt text. So, yeah, so far, so good. I don't see any particular error on my part. So, the literal thing that's causing issues here would seem to be the fact that I am not doing this asynchronously using IEnumerator, but instead actually doing it one shot all in a single frame, and that's somehow preventing this from working as intended, which is very odd. It's incredibly odd, really. Especially given the fact that we only changed the yield return. And the changes to an IEnumerator to avoid, and then remove the starting of a coroutine to execute this code. Yeah, a whole lot of odd. A whole lot of, that's weird. Why is that? It's very, very weird. The fact that the thing that changes this from something that works to something that doesn't work is the fact that it's asynchronous. That's odd. That's weird. That's goofy, even. And I'm not sure what one is to make of this. Not sure what one is to make of this. Because I could just very well reinstitute. In fact, let's just make sure that that's the thing that's differentiating working and not working. IEnumerator. And then at each iteration, yield, return. Heck, let's just return. Let's do what we know works first. Which is new, wait 4 seconds, and then 0.5f, and then over here start coroutine, and verify that that's the case. Because if that's the case, that's really odd. So I'm wondering if you can just accumulate too many changes to the text. It shouldn't be. It should be like a static data structure that you're just modifying. But not even a data structure. It's like a block of memory. Okay, yeah, and it's drawing fine. Okay, let's speed this bad boy up a little bit. Let's do yield return null. So that's gonna be every frame, every other frame. And let's also get rid of this multiplicative again. I know, bad for the scientific method, doing two operations instead of two changes instead of one, but whatever. I'm pretty confident this should be fine. Okay, look at that. It looks like a 3D printer, dude. Let's go. Let's go. And that was the issue too, was the multiplicative. Okay, so cool. We have our 2D printer working. So now, if we were to just get rid of this, have it be done one shot in a single frame, would this be fine? And if it's not, then that's the issue, is like doing so many draw operations within a single frame. Yep, and it didn't do it. It didn't do the drawing. So I am to assume that maybe there's probably a warning somewhere saying that we're doing way too much. Let's hide all these guys. Where's this happening? It's happening in the dust system, which I can get rid of at some point too. Oh my goodness. So it really is the all those changes at once that's causing a problem. That's crazy. And I don't know how to figure this out. Because it's very weird that like Unity would have some kind of limitation in terms of how many write operations you can do onto a texture. That's like, this is like in the realm of, okay, there's something weird or esoteric about how Unity handles this that you just have to, that only happens in weird edge cases. Because the only difference is the time scale. That's the only difference here is the time scale. And I'm actually so glad I did this in the IEnumerator, because that we would have been banging our heads forever trying to figure out why the drawing isn't happening, even though we theoretically have everything correct. And it's because there's something weird going on here. That's wild. Okay, can we do it per line, like every other line? So instead of weighting each pixel, we process a single line all at once and then chunk them that way. That's so weird, man. Yep, that works fine. That works fine. But somehow not one shot. That's crazy. That looks so cool though. Let's document this a little bit. I'm gonna save this progress here. General. A level design tool for marking spots that should be dirtied. Stained by dust miasma. And then we're going to do a little to-do for ourselves. Figure out why Unity we can't modify textures in one shot. Beautiful. And then we're going to actually save our progress now. So we're going to just go Control-Alt, MM. Beautiful. Get... Oopsie. Why did that happen? Yeah, thank you. I'm glad. I'm happy too, man. I'm happy too, Morgan. I'm happy we figured it out. That was a mini odyssey, wasn't it? There's some game programming. There's programming stuff, tasks that are just so simple, and then there's others that, for some reason, feel like they're like this slog you have to work through. And we haven't fully figured it out either. Like this weird texture thing is very odd. But at the very least, we know it's like, okay, I don't think it's my fault though. This seems like a Unity's fault thing. Implemented and added dust stain tool. Like, it's one of those scenarios where you can just like say we blame Unity and it's fun and it's great because it's not my fault. We're just dunking on somebody else. I mean, we're gonna have to fix it and deal with it in some form or fashion. But hey, we know what exactly is going on here. In fact, let's just Google this. Let's do a little googly before I pop off. Unity. Won't apply many changes to texture, which is weird on runtime. Nope. Okay, maybe it's not a Unity thing. Maybe wait, let's just investigate what's happening here. So when we do Unity set pixel are not applied to texture. No, I know I'm doing this. I don't know. This is not amateur hour. I know. I know you have to do apply after making these changes. I know you have to call apply. I'm not using HDR. Okay, and it didn't turn out to not even be a due to that. No, this is a weird scenario where it's like we can prove this is largely the fault here at. Okay, let's change this. Is there a limit? Unity, is there a limit to set pixels? Because the alternate is that, like, the alternate possibility is that we're not timing this correctly. That's weird, but that could be the case. To set pixel on texture. No, that's not my query. No, these are resolution questions. Which makes sense. Like, this should not be a... because theoretically you should be able to change every single pixel. So let's see here. Just one last thing before I pop off. Let me manager dirt texel set pixel. What's going on here in set pixel? Set pixel index x, index y dot color. So we're using index to access this, and we have the texture we're setting these pixels onto. Yeah, seems fair enough to me. Seems fair enough to me. I don't see no issues here, officer. And we have stain pixel, and this seems appropriate. I don't see no issues. So into index, mark for rebuild. None of these mark for rebuild, but let's see here. Let me look at the other dirty operations to make sure I'm not crazy. Stain circle, okay, whatever. And then at the end, what do? Mark for rebuild. So I'm not crazy. And it does it each time too. After every single iteration. Yup. Okay, let's just do something simple. Let's just do something very dumb simple. What if we go to dirt stains? We do all these changes. We're assuming it's marking for rebuild, but we can just enforce that this happens. So we can do again, instead of doing this after each line, we would do it back here, and then we just at the very end mark for rebuild. Manager mark for rebuild. Like, let's just do that. Like, some magical reason for whatever reason, mark for rebuild isn't working as intended when we set it per pixel. Fine. Okay. All good. Let's just manually also call it at the end of this huge write operation. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Do you think this is due to the, like, maybe we have to, it's not ready to be written? Like, I wonder if there's a other kind of weird condition that's happening. Like, maybe what's actually happening is that we need a delay before we do this coroutine. Like, at the very beginning, yield return like a frame or something. Because maybe the texture isn't, I mean, this is weird. It shouldn't. But let's assume the texture, for whatever reason, behaves in some weird asynchronous context where it needs some time before you can write and apply changes to it. Like, let's assume that's the case that's happening here. And that worked. Okay, so that's... Okay, so we can assume the texture is ready frame 1. That's what's happening. That's what's going on. Okay. Okay, now let's actually play around with this. Let's have some fun with this level before I keep saying before I hop off, but like, let's just play around with this for a second, all right? Because I want to make sure this is working as advertised, as I advertised it earlier. So we're gonna make a bunch of these. We're gonna do like one of this size over here. We're gonna make another one that's like rotated and over here, and maybe have it overlap a little bit, and maybe have another one over here. And again, rotate that bad boy. Scale it a little bit different. Let's do even a weird shape. Thin and long. And then let's see if this does things correctly. Oh no! So no, when we rotate it, there's some weird artifacts that emerge. It looks like a little mesh. And it's probably due to missing those pixels when... Yeah, it's due to the... The rounding, the nearest point thing it's going to be doing when you're... But it largely works. Like here, it's largely contiguous and fits the shape for the most part. And maybe we say, hey, this is a feature, not a bug, right? Hey, we want to make it feel not so clean and programmatic. We can just say, hey, this is a design decision to have all these holes like Swiss cheese. It's a design decision. See that? Design decisions all over the place. This is pretty cool though. I like this. Okay, but we have our tool working, dude. We have our tool working. Our tool's tooling. We can start like designing levels with this, and it's gonna be much more conducive to the things you want to do. Heck yes, man. Heck yeah. Okay, cool. So what do we do from here? So close. Design is very human. Yes, very human. Very human design. This is pretty good though. I gotta say, this is pretty good. This is pretty nice, man. This is pretty good. We've solved the issue. We found out that the texture isn't ready frame 1. That's fine. We can live with that. We at least figured out what's going on. We need to implement the circle. That's gonna be another problem for another day. I don't want to even think about that. I mean, it's like the way I'm probably gonna solve it, or the way I'm thinking about, I don't know. A rectangle is easy to like snap it to a grid. A circle is a bit odder. Like the way I would think about it is using like a sinusoidal functions, like using sine for the y component and then cos for the x component, and then doing something like that in local space and then outputting it. That's probably how I'm gonna do stuff. And if I were to like implement that, like first of all, let me do a little. I know I keep saying I'm gonna hop off, but let me just do a little quick minor code cleanup so I can actually extend this relatively easily in the future. Rectangle. No, let's just say we have the W. We have the W. I'm not going to do this now. We're not going to do this. We're going to take home the W. We're going to cache it in. I'll do this code cleanup later. Maybe like in my bed tonight. Because, you know, we don't... That's That's what we do. Ever since I got this laptop, all concept of balance has been disrupted because I could just go on here in my bed and do some work. I'll probably do some engine stuff though, not this. I don't know, we'll see. All right, let's just commit this. Git add all. Fixed frame delay or removed frame delay. It looked cool though. Thanks for tuning to rest well. Yep, I appreciate it, Morgan. I will try to rest today. I will try to do some resting today. That is part of the agenda. And then we're gonna push this to, and we're gonna hear on Discord. Let me open up. Wait, 1 second. This is satisfying for me. Open Discord and browser. All right, this is the satisfying thing. All right, wait for it. Wait for it. Git push. Is it not going to sound? Is it because I have it open? Oh no. I needed to switch to another tab. Tragic. Yeah, oh well. It's there. I didn't do the nice beep thing that I like. Anyways, guys, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate your company today. Hope you enjoyed the vertical stream as opposed to the normal horizontal stream. I'm going to be experimenting with this format. I think if it's good, let me know. If it's not, if you hate it and you want to go back to horizontal, let me know. We'll play it by ear. And then hopefully we can start doing park streaming again, guys. We can get this mobile data figured out and start doing that. But anyways, thank you for your company. I hope you guys enjoyed it and have a good one. And all the best of luck in the work that you're doing on your personal projects, game, your journey of coding, or what have you, art, music.